What's good with y'all, man? We about to talk about being a young parent. This is something that's been going on for many years. It's not something new with like a 18-year-old, 19-year-old, maybe somebody in their young 20s. They have a kid and it could be a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Kids are a blessing in general, you know what I'm saying, no matter what age you are. But I feel like, it's ways to prevent these situations from happening, you know what I'm saying? Or you using your head to say, well, what will be the end result of me having this kid? Like, what will my life be like after I'm a parent at this age? Because I feel like a lot of people fail to realize the responsibility of having a kid. Like, your whole life pretty much is going to be centered on this child. And that goes for like your fun, you know what I'm saying? Like you wanting to do things because now it's like, oh, I want to go out, or I need to work, because you're still working on yourself, especially if you're like 18, 19. I mean, you're always going to be working on yourself no matter what age you are, but especially those young ages, like you might be wanting to, further your education. You might be wanting to make some extra money, but all that is going to come to a halt to a certain degree, because who's going to watch this kid? You might get somebody to watch your kid, once or twice, but having somebody constantly being there while you're doing something else, pursuing whatever you want to do, is kind of unrealistic. Unless if maybe you give them to your mom or a grandmother, grandfather type of situation, but it's like now you're pushing all your responsibility onto somebody else, which people don't even really think about. It's very unfair to them because they already had kids. They, did their job. So now you, as this 19-year-old, is like, oh, well, I got stuff that I need to do so I could take care of me, myself, and my kids. So here you go, like pushing it off to somebody else when it's like, this was your decision. I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Things kind of just happen without even me getting too explicit. Like sometimes things just happen, but you gotta really think like, yo, man, like having a kid, like you see how like social media, I be seeing like a girl will post like, oh, like she just turned 20, hypothetically, right? She just turned 20 and she's like, oh, I'm about to be Matthew's mom, and she got the stuff in her bio and she's doing the fraternity thing, and she's just like, oh, this is about to just change my entire life, which it definitely will. But it's like, matter of fact, people be using having a kid as a form of like, oh, this is going wrong for me, this is going wrong for me, I think I'm gonna have a kid so that my life could be more meaningful. That sounds very weird to say, but I literally see people in real life do that. Like they really feel like they have nothing else going on, so they have a kid as a way to, like, I don't know, like they have a kid out of like wanting some type of fulfillment in their life that they don't have. Which is crazy, by the way, because you need to motivate yourself. Like, you need to sit there. If your life is kind of messed up or in shambles, or you feel like whatever, you need to motivate yourself to get to it. Like, you need to motivate yourself to, get some you need to motivate yourself to get some stability and make some money. You shouldn't use, oh, I'm having a kid, so now I need to just boss myself up. Like, or, oh, maybe if I have a kid, people be thinking in their head, like little kids, like you gotta understand, little kids, like teenagers, young adults, people are very irrational. They really be saying in their head, like, yo, if I have this kid, it might force me to just boss myself up. Like, no, you need to just sit there and boss yourself up, because that's what you need to find happiness in yourself, and not trying to find happiness in some other pushing it onto a new life. Like, I'm telling you, it sounds weird and I don't even know how to really articulate it the best, but people really be doing that. Like, they really use having a kid as a form of like some type of morality boost to help them, make them feel better. And it's weird, but I'm just telling you, if you having a kid, use your head. If you would have just kind of thought about it some more, like thought about the fact of like, yo, I don't got stuff together. you know, financially, most 20-year-olds are not, they don't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? So now, also, let's not even talk about the burden of somebody else. Let's talk about what your child's life might be like. Because if you're struggling, you know what I'm saying, you're struggling to make money, have a place to stay, your child now is struggling to have food, have clothes, and depending on how long this goes on for, you know what I'm saying, it could have bad, you know, situations for him or her. And also what you got to consider is the person that you're having a kid with. Like, I'm not just pushing this on the girl. Let's talk about for the man too. You guys might not be together for forever, especially if you're like a young, like you're 18, even 17-year-old, especially them, like the y'all are gonna end up, what could most likely end up happening is y'all are gonna get into arguments, and one of you guys might leave. Specifically, well, we're just talking about the man, because a woman can't really leave. She could, but it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, more than likely she's gonna be the one with the kid and the man is dipping out. So now you in a situation where you're in a single parent household with this child, and you know what I'm saying? It's so many different things that could end up going wrong with you making this impulsive decision. And for the men, you know what I'm saying? Because I still didn't tackle on to them. With the man, it's like, bro, I feel like, especially with like young black men right now, they have this feeling of like, oh, well, I'm going to get this girl pregnant, this other girl pregnant, and not really caring about, yo, like, I'm not gonna be, you can't raise all these kids at the same time. You really can't, especially if you're young, not having money. Like, you can't be, even if you had money, because I was also thinking about like with these rappers and stuff like that, you know, they be doing that a lot. You can't be in one place at multiple times. You know what I'm saying? You can't be in all these different houses with these kids 24/7. So it's like you're gonna be a kind of a dead. You're gonna be a deadbeat dad to one of them, or you might talk to them at different times. Like, oh, hey, FaceTime, You know, we have different ways to communicate, but you're really not gonna be able to really develop these kids. You know what I'm saying? You're really not going to be able to help them as much as you should be. And you're not going to really be able to be a father like you're really supposed to be. So it's like, is it really worth it for you to sit here and make this decision where it's like, wow, like, I'm really not going to be able to be a good parent, you know? And now, you know, not just to let me not even sit here and just talk down about the situation, because there's some people who are already like, this is their reality, you know? I'm not saying that this is gonna be a bad thing for you. Like, no, like, there's plenty of people who have had kids and have successfully, you know, made a life for themselves, and they have houses, they have careers, and things is great for them. And they also might even use that as a learning experience, you know, to tell others or to tell their kid about what they had to go through. But I'm just saying, it's not like, it's not something like, I feel like really why I'm making this video is because I feel like it's promoted so much for you to be a young parent. Like, it's getting promoted through social media, through all these different places. Your friend, this person, just having a kid. It gets, even at one point, I was over here thinking, I'm talking to somebody, I'm so into them. I'm over here thinking like, yo, maybe I should just, you know what I'm saying, I should just have a kid and, you know, we move in together somewhere. But then I had to think about that, like, bro, like, you do realize that this is something that is really going to, this is not just like you getting a new, well, even a pet is a lot of responsibility. But this is something that's with you for life. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? This is not something to really joke around, or not joke around, but like, this is not something to you to really take lightly. Like, this is a decision that you really have to sit there and, you know, really make a rational and think about the everything that comes with you making this decision, you know? which I think a lot of people don't do. And I think that that's the problem. It's getting pushed so much for, I could even get into, I could make a whole separate video about people having multiple partners, like having, not multiple partners, but the men having multiple baby mothers. That's a whole, I think I made a video about that already. Men having multiple baby mothers. I can make a whole separate video about that, but specifically I'm just talking about two young people having kids. It's like, ideally, bro, I feel like it's not something that, especially if you don't have your stuff together, like if you had money and you were, you had your own crib and you have all your stuff together, by all means, if that's what you want to do, go ahead, because you're set and they'll be set. But if you don't have it like that, and you don't have it like that, why would you sit here and try to make another this young child go through who knows what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should sit there and say, you know what, I shouldn't just think so impulsively, and you know what I'm saying, I should think about the whole aspect of, wow, this is really me bringing in a new life. And it's not really, this is serious. You know what I'm saying? This is very serious, a lot of responsibility. It'll change my life, other person's life. It's not, that's all I wanted to say in this video, man. You guys tell me what you think, about being a young parent, about kids having kids, and you know what I'm saying? Is it something that really shouldn't be so promoted? Just like, what is y'all thoughts about that? Because I just feel like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something that really people need to think more about, if you get what I'm saying, before they, make that decision. That's all I really want to say in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.